Ever think about the energy it takes to, like, dry things out
Mm.
after, water damage?
Mhm.
It's not just about speed, right?
Mm.
It's got to be efficient, sustainable. We're doing a deep dive into energy-efficient drying equipment, specifically for restoration work.
Mhm.
And we've got some good stuff from CARSI. They're an Australian company, kind of experts in this whole field.
And what's cool is they hit on this balance between speed, yeah, but also cost and the environmental impact. It's not just drying things out fast. It's got to make sense on like all these different levels.
I'm with you. So why is this energy-efficient drying equipment so crucial, especially in restoration, right?
Okay, picture this. Huge water incident. Soaked carpets, furniture, everything, right? Traditional drying equipment that can really hit those energy bills hard, but energy efficient stuff. Uses way less power. Means you save money, big time, in the long run.
That makes sense. But does less energy mean slower drying?
People think that, yeah. But actually, the CARSI article, it points out that modern energy-efficient equipment, it often beats out the older models. Think high-tech dehumidifiers, air movers, max output, minimal energy use.
Best of both worlds.
Exactly. Work smarter, not harder, right? And they have this perfect example, the HAT principle.
HATT. Okay, got to be honest, sounds a bit made up. Break it down for me. How does it all work?
It's a mouthful, right? But HHAT, it stands for humidity, airflow, temperature, and time. Those four, when they're balanced right, make drying as smooth as possible. Imagine trying to dry clothes outside. It's cold, no wind, damp, takes forever. But crank up the heat, add some wind, lower that humidity, things dry way faster. That's what HET is all about, but like professionally.
So it's like a, what do you call it, a balanced equation for optimal drying.
Exactly. And each part affects the others. High humidity, but no airflow. Drying takes forever. And the article, it really emphasizes this. Mastering HET, it's not just speed, it's about stopping other problems like mold.
Now, that's something everyone should know, not just the pros.
Right. Even knowing a little bit about HET, it helps a ton. Dealing with water damage, stopping those extra issues, it all matters.
The article also mentioned drying chambers. Paint me a picture. Real-world situation, how's that work?
Say you have to dry one specific area and fast. Instead of using equipment everywhere, you make this controlled environment a chamber, like seal off a water-damaged room, plastic sheeting, bring in your dehumidifiers, air movers, that kind of thing.
So you're focusing the drying power exactly where it's needed.
Right. Drying chambers, they're all about control. You can adjust the humidity, airflow, all those HETT elements we talked about. Makes it work best for whatever materials you have, how bad the damage is, all of that. Faster drying times, less wasted energy, especially useful for big restoration projects.
So it's like really targeted drying, huh? Which makes me think, how do you even choose the right equipment for a job?
That's the art of it, right? A small job at someone's house, that's different from, say, a huge commercial building. Size of the area, what it's made of, even the climate outside, it all plays a role.
It's a whole science. The CARSI article, they mentioned maintenance too. Keeping that equipment in top shape. What was their take?
Like a car, right? You wouldn't drive it without oil changes, tune-ups, that kind of thing. Same idea here.
Not just set it and forget it.
No way. Maintenance, it really affects how energy efficient your stuff is and how long it lasts. Imagine a filter, all clogged up. Dehumidifiers working harder, using more energy, might even break down sooner.
So what kind of maintenance are we talking?
They kept it simple but important. Cleaning those filters, replacing them when you need to, checking the hoses, making sure they're not damaged. And give that equipment some space, good ventilation around it, makes a huge difference.
Little things add up.
Exactly. And your best bet, honestly, check the manual. Every model's a little different. The manufacturer, they'll tell you exactly what to do, how often.
Good point. Now, back to drying chambers for a sec. Are they all the same, or are there different types?
That's where it gets interesting. There's no one-size-fits-all. Really depends on what you're dealing with.
Okay, so walk me through it. What are the options?
Say it's a small leak, just one room. You could seal the doorways, right? Heavy-duty plastic sheeting, that kind of thing. Keeps the air contained, your equipment works better. But bigger job. Commercial building, lots of damage. Might need to build temporary walls, special doors to make these bigger controlled chambers.
It's all about adapting to the situation.
Exactly. And that's where understanding HAT comes in again. Inside that chamber, you can adjust everything. Humidity, airflow, temperature. Dial it in for whatever you're drying, how bad it is. Makes it super efficient.
This is blowing my mind a little, honestly. Before we wrap this part up, any final thoughts on maximizing drying efficiency?
I'd say it's about the right tools and the right knowledge.
Mm.
Knowing how drying actually works, whether it's HATT, keeping things maintained, or using these drying chambers strategically, each piece matters.
Having the facts to make smart choices. Now, for anyone listening who's thinking, I want to be a drying pro, we've got you covered. Stick around after the break. We'll be back with more from CARSI and even more tips on energy-efficient restoration. We're back, diving deeper into energy-efficient drying. Before the break, we hinted at some bonus stuff, especially for those who want to go, like, expert level on this.
Yeah, CARSI, right. They have that article we've been talking about, and they've got even more to offer. Big on education, those guys.
For sure. They mentioned courses, all about energy-efficient restoration. What stood out to you about those?
I was impressed, I'll be honest. They're really in-depth, follow all the industry standards, even got that CEC approval, which is a big deal. Shows they know their stuff, and they're keeping up with the latest and greatest.
Definitely worth checking out for anyone serious about this stuff. Now, you got me thinking earlier. You said we could apply these drawing principles to, like, life in general.
Oh, yeah. Remember how we talked about humidity, airflow, temperature? All very literal. But what if we got, I don't know, metaphorical with it?
Hit me with it. What are you thinking?
Okay, humidity. In drying too much and things slow down? What if, like, in a workplace, humidity is all the unnecessary stuff? Bureaucracy.
Interesting. So reducing humidity at work means getting rid of the roadblocks, making things faster, smoother.
Exactly. Or airflow. Good airflow. Things dry quicker. Maybe in a team, that's like how well ideas flow, how open the communication is.
So a team that doesn't talk enough, that's like a room with no ventilation, things get stale.
Right. And lastly, temperature. You got to find that sweet spot, not too hot, not too cold for optimal drying. Maybe, personally, that's our energy work-life balance.
Avoiding burnout. Yeah, finding that balance.
Exactly. It's kind of wild, right? These simple ideas, they apply in so many ways once you start looking for them.
It's true. Well, we've reached the end of our deep dive into the world of, well, drying things. Hopefully you pick up some useful tips, not just for soggy carpets, but maybe for life in general.
The best knowledge is practical knowledge, right?
Couldn't have said it better myself. Until next time, everyone, stay dry.